All right, time now for Darnell's Question of the Day. We're going to bring in Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network and our main man, Darnell Smith. Darnell has a specific question based off of something ridiculous Bucky said over Twitter.
Yeah, man. Let's talk some LeBron James, who recently revealed that Jerry Jones offered him a contract to play with Cowboys during the 2011 NBA lockout. Now I got Bucky Brooks says he wishes LeBron had taken it because he thinks King James would have been a gold jacket level player as a tight end. I couldn't hold back on this one, tweeting out, y'all got to chill with this nonsense. This is disrespectful to NFL players. To assume an NBA player could just go to the NFL and be a Hall of Famer is ridiculous. I know a ton of amazing athletes who couldn't last a day on the football field. So I want to ask y'all straight up, do you agree with me? Obviously, Bucky don't.
I think I have to frame this, Darnell, so you understand. Like, our colleague at Fox, Tony Gonzalez, averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds at Cal. He has gone on to be a Hall of Fame caliber player. Hey, look, Antonio Gates was a great basketball player at Kent State, averaged 20 points and 7 rebounds his last season. He goes on as an undrafted free agent and scores 116 touchdowns. Guess what, Darnell? LeBron James is a more explosive athlete than both of those guys. As a high school football player, he was a 2-time All-State wide receiver. And when I talked to Urban Meyer, who I'm sure you respect, and Mel Tucker, they both talked about him being a high-level player, a 5-star player who would have done great things in the league. I have no doubt that if LeBron James had played football, LeBron James would have been a gold jacket level player, particularly based on any basketball player that we've seen play tight end has had success, i.e. Jimmy Graham.
Bucky, I've seen a million people, superstars in high school. Once they get tapped and touched at the college level, I've seen them shrink. And then when you start, I've seen guys dominate the NFL. Dominate college football. Move to the NFL and get touched by Ray Lewis and change their whole game. And you got to show me. You can't tell me, you can't project it out. Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, the guys you talking about, went out and proved it. I just can't speculate based off a Giants high school career that somehow he was going to be this NFL superstar. Hell, I played against some guys that were terrific in high school. Couldn't pee a drop in the college game. Marcellus?
Hey, yeah. If we're taking this former NFL player's vote on if he's feeling disrespected right now, I am not voting yes. I am not disrespected by this. I totally agree with Bucky, and I have my own points to add to this as well. First of all, don't take offense to this, Darnell, but when I read this, I said, this sounds smart only to dumb people. What you wrote was something, as I call, pep rally speak. And I've been guilty of doing the same thing you've done. I remember my senior year at our pep rally. I said, yo, we gonna win the championship this year. And everyone went crazy. It was viral around our school campus. And guess what? We went out there and were 0-10. Sometimes you can say something to people and they just get pumped on it because of the energy and the fact that that's what they think is real, but it's not the truth. Here's the truth. I was a San Diego Charger when Antonio Gates was not drafted, just walked off the streets, undrafted from a former basketball player's career and decided to take on football. I remember the first day of practice, and this 6'5", 260, kind of round, not even like sculpted, just a guy that all of a sudden, when the ball was snapped, phone booth wiggle, phone booth wiggle. Coach told me, he said, hey, Wiley, I need you to step it up in practice, give Gates a little more because he's starting to feel himself. And I said, Coach, I'm actually trying. That phone booth wiggle, that basketball, that ability is different. In the athletic pyramid in this world, basketball is at the top. Every football player I know is a failed basketball player. And I'm not talking about did they actually try and go. Some guys are just forced to not even think about being a basketball player because they don't have that athletic level of ability. So a guy who has seen it at the top, played with one of the best, and have seen thousands and thousands of guys. Let's not overhype. If you get hit, you're going to quit. Let's hype up, though. If you're a different type of talent oh, it's going to show through in football.
I'm going to tell y'all why Bucky and Marcellus, why y'all both are wrong. First of all, it's a blanket statement to say LeBron James will be a Hall of Fame player. I would have been cool with you saying he would make a football team or he could possibly be a starter or a Pro Bowl player a couple years. Y'all skipped all of that and said Hall of Famer. That's a special class of guys that you guys know more than me. So many great NFL players have not made the Hall of Fame. So to assume that an NBA player, just because he has a size and athleticism, could walk to a football field and be a Hall of Famer is crazy to me. Yeah, athleticism is a big part of the game. Duh, we know that. But 50% of it has nothing to do with athleticism. It's about heart. It's about toughness. And we can't measure that. So I'm not saying LeBron couldn't have been that. Like, it's not possible at all. Sure, based on physical gifts, there's a possibility. But to just, like, why say it? Like, we have no evidence other than his high school tape. We all ate in high school. I know guys in the hood right now was cold in high school. That don't mean nothing. So my point is, if LeBron could be a Hall of Famer, then basically you're saying almost all NBA players could be in the Hall of Fame because they're all crazy athletes. Giannis, Zion, Westbrook could be better than Ed Reed based on what you guys are saying. It makes no sense.
Oh, it does make sense because here's what I want to do. Because when you make projections, you got to start at the floor. So you talked about, oh, it's crazy with Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez. So let's do this. Jimmy Graham was a 6th or 7th man at the University of Miami. Jimmy Graham barely played football at the University of Miami on their squad his last season. He goes as a 3rd-round pick. He has scored 74 touchdowns. And when you ask people around the league, hey, is he tough? Is he rough and tumble? No. They were talking about him being soft, not a physical specimen. He doesn't block. So if he is the low point and he's been able to score 74 touchdowns without being a guy that loves physicality, imagine someone who actually likes playing football, who played it at a high level, who has more size, athleticism, and leaping ability. Imagine what he would do if Jimmy Graham is the low point and Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates are the high point. And Marcellus saw Antonio Gates when he started. He saw him when he started.
Bucky,
Come on,
stop.
man.
Stop. You can't call Jimmy Graham the low point. Bucky, you can't call Jimmy Graham the low point. You're acting as if hundreds of former basketball players haven't tried to move into the NFL and failed. There have been plenty. I know 2 of them from my college. We had a guy named Paris McCurdy, who was a great basketball player for us, led us to the Sweet 16, looked the part of an NFL player. I think it was the Broncos that gave him a try. It didn't work. Just a few years ago, I'm sorry, the name is slipping me, but one of our best players, 6'6". No, he went to the Chicago Bears. It didn't work out. This happens every year. So Jimmy Graham is not the floor, and we got to quit reacting to anecdotes and react to reality, which has a far bigger breadth of information than, hey, this guy and that guy made it, so therefore X, Y, and Z can make it. A lot of guys tried this conversion after being decent college basketball players, and they fail. A lot of them don't even make it to training camp. OTAs, mini camp, weeds them out, the whole 9 yards. So it's not just Jimmy Graham and the success stories. We're pointing to a few of the success stories. It ain't no different. It's like me. Let's say I continue on and lose this weight and get down to 250 pounds like I want to. I will be you can point out, well, everybody can lose weight. Well, no, they can't. You know how long I've tried, how many people have failed, blah, blah. You just can't point to the success stories and then apply it to everybody. LeBron James, to me, would have to prove it. This whole conversation is disrespectful. It's the hardest game to play. It requires the most mental and physical toughness. Maybe LeBron has it. Maybe he doesn't. I just need to see proof. I'm from Missouri, from the Show Me State. You got to show me.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.